Shema Israel. Hope you enjoy this next study. My name's Dee. This is my wife, Millie.
So if you like what you see, subscribe and hit the notification bell. And if you wish to reach out to us, you can email us at devotedtoyah@gmail.com. Okay. So then my follow-up question with that would be, no, okay. In verse 31, though, he says, wherefore I say to you, all manner of sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven, except for the blasphemy against the Spirit. So now he's not just talking about blasphemy against himself. He's talking about all blasphemy, including, why would that not include blasphemy against God, except for the Spirit?
The Spirit is God. So he's saying all blasphemy except for blasphemy against God is forgivable. That's what I'm seeing.
Because you read it. Yahuwah is Ruach. Yahuwah is spirit.
Yeah. So he's saying blasphemy against God is not acceptable. But against the Son, he says the Son of Man. As soon as you say Son of Man, God is not Son of Man. God is not a man. God is not a human. He became a Son of Man. We're all sons of men. Did you know that? We're all sons of men. But he is the Son of Man, like the one and only Son of Man, because he is a unique and the one that we've been waiting for since Genesis chapter 3, the promise of the seed of the woman. He is that son that the world has been waiting for. So that's why you see the words,
the firstborn born without sin.
Yeah. So you see in the scriptures they capitalize the Son of Man. And even though in the original manuscript it's not capitalized, probably in the Greek it's not capitalized, but in the English they capitalize it for us. You know, the translators capitalize it for us to let us know it's talking about Yahusha. Okay, but we are sons of men. We're human. So what Yahusha is saying, you can blaspheme against humans, but you can't blaspheme against God. That's very interesting, because then, and I'm not putting doubt in the New Testament. Like I said, guys, I believe what the scripture says and I take it to my grave. And if something seems contradictory, I'm going to work my hardest to try to make harmony of it. But I will have a question is, do we ever see in the Old Testament where it says blaspheme against Yahuwah? Because that's one of the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not blaspheme against Yahuwah. And this is now we're going into an area where I think saying that Yahuwah's, how do I phrase this? Okay, I was taught when I came out of Christianity into this that spelling Yah's name Lord and God is blasphemy, is blaspheming against his name. I know that that's wrong. I know that that's not his name. But is it really blaspheming against him according to what we're learning right now blasphemy is? I don't think so. Now, I think if somebody was to argue with me and says, no, brother, his name's not Yahweh or Yahuwah or Yahovah, whatever you're saying, his name is Lord. If you have somebody that aggressively says that's not his name, now they're really lying to the Spirit. I think now you're going to another level. But a lot of us, we were calling him Lord and God out of ignorance because that's what our Bibles were showing. But once somebody took the time to show us the original Hebrew or the preface, the beginning of our own Bibles, which may explain that, a lot of us embraced it and said, oh, wow, I never knew that. But blaspheming against God is one of the 10 commandments, one of the top. What is it, number 2? Thou shalt not blaspheme or take his name in vain, I think. which may be different. It may be a different topic. Using his
I
name.
have a cross reference for the Old Testament whenever you're ready.
Okay, yeah, do that for me. Go ahead.
It's in Nehemiah 9, 18. It says, even when they made a molded calf for themselves and said, this is your mighty one that brought you up out of Mitzrayim, and worked great blasphemies, yet you and your great compassion did not forsake them in the wilderness. The column of the cloud did not turn away from them by day to lead them on the way, nor the column of fire by night to give them light in the way they were to go. So I guess the blasphemy is saying this golden calf did it and not Yahuwah, giving credit to something else.
What verse were you at?
Chapter 9, verse 18 and 19.
Mm-hmm. Even when they made a molten calf for themselves and said, this is your God. Yeah. I mean, that's bad. Yeah, saying that this is Yahuwah when it's a demon. I think that's equal to saying, no, that's not Yahuwah that did that. That was a demon that did that. I think it's the same thing. When it's not Yahuwah and you're saying it is, it's equal to when it is Yahuwah and you're saying it's not. But what does it say about it? It says, even when you made a molten calf, they made a molten calf for themselves and said, this is your God that brought you out of Egypt and worked great provocations. You have blasphemies there. Yet in your manifold mercies, you did not forsake them in the wilderness. There seemed to be forgiveness there. Hold on. Time out. Yeah, time out. Let me think about this. Didn't the ground open up and swallow up a whole bunch of folk who were worshiping that golden calf? No? All right, let's go back to the story. Let's go back. There was definitely, some folk died. I believe some folk died. Let me see. Verse 18. Exodus 32, 48, and 31. All right, the golden calf. This is what happened. Verse 7, Yahuwah said to Moses, go get down, for your people whom you brought out of the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves. Then Moses pleaded with Yahuwah in verse 11, asked him to turn from his fierce wrath and relent from harming the people. Then 15, and Moses turned and went down from the mountain, and the 2 tablets of the testimony were in his hand. The tablets were written on both sides, and on the side of the other they were written. Now the tablets were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God engraved in tablets. And when Yahusha heard the noise of the people as they shouted, he said to Moses, there is a noise of war in the camp. But he said, it is not a noise of the shout of victory, nor the noise of the cry of defeat, but the sound of singing I hear. Verse 19, so it was as soon as he came near the camp, he saw the calf and the dancing. So Moses, that lets you know spiritual warfare right there with singing secular music. That's a lesson I learned back in Christianity right there. I don't know if you caught that. When you listen to secular music, worldly dancing, people who worship other gods, and you're singing to somebody other than God, the artist that you're listening to is wicked. There's actually, in the spiritual realm, there's a warfare going on, and you're losing. You're getting your butt kicked. But to you, it sounds like good music, and you're having a good time. But to somebody who's spiritually awakened, you're getting your butt kicked. That's what that verse says right there. That's just a side note. Me, the musician. That's me, the musician, talking right now. Anyway, back to the story. Verse 19. So it was as soon as he came near to the camp, he saw the golden calf and the dancing. So Moses' anger became hot, and he cast the tablets out of his hand and broke them at the foot of the mountain. Then he took the calf which they had made, burned it in the fire, and ground it to powder, and scattered it on the water, and made the children of Israel drink it. And Moses said to Aaron, what did this people do to you that you have brought so great a sin upon them? So Aaron said, do not let the anger of my Lord become hot. You know the people, that they are set on evil. For they said to me, make us gods that shall go before us. As for this Moses, the man who brought us out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has become of him. And I said to them, whoever has a gold, let them break it off. So if they gave it to me, and I cast it into the fire, and this calf came out. So when Moses saw that the people were unrestrained, for Aaron had not restrained them, to their shame among their enemies, then Moses stood in the entrance of the camp and said, whoever is on Yahuwah's side, come to me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together to him and said to them, thus says Yahuwah, God of Israel, let every man put his sword on his side and go in and out from entrance to entrance throughout the camp, and let every man kill his brother, every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. You can interpret this two different ways. You can say that there were some people who were blaspheming and changed their mind and were forgiven, had a second chance. Or we can say that the ones who wanted to worship the calf maintained their position on worshiping the calf, and the ones who were never involved with it walked to that other side, and they were the ones that killed the ones who blasphemed against the spirit. I'm just being fair and giving two possible interpretations of this. If we're going to say that what Yahusha is saying in Matthew chapter 12 is not new. Because either it is new, either Yahusha raised the bar, raised the standard in a way that it never was before, because now he's here on the earth and he's pouring out his spirit in a way that's never been poured out before. That's very possible. Okay? Or we're going to say this has always been the truth. Okay? But a whole lot of folk died. However, let's be more critical. Use critical thinking here. Aaron is responsible for this, right? Did Aaron get killed? No, he did not. So there's a person who was forgiven.